The reason why we want to talk about the 17th Amendment is because the implications that it has are huge for the foundation of our country and how we are governed because we're a constitutional republic. What this did is that it changed the Senate from being appointed by the state legislatures to being popularly elected, the
Hmm.
same way that the House of Representatives is popularly elected. So the first line in the 17th Amendment is the Senate of the United States shall be composed of two senators from each state, elected by the people thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have one vote. The important line here is elected by the people thereof. This was instantiated in 1913, and the important part of it is that the Senate was supposed to be the representative of each state. Each state was supposed to have two representatives, and it was supposed to represent the interest of each state. Now that it's popularly elected, they have to raise funds and they have to campaign, and now essentially they're in the back pocket of special interests.
So you cannot be just a politician. You have to be a bought and paid for politician if you want to keep being a politician.
Exactly.
So essentially what it did is it changed us from a democratic republic to more of a democracy, if I'm hearing that right.
Exactly.
And I know that the founders had initially wanted to be the Senate, the one that moves slow, that doesn't really, move quickly compared to the House, because you have
Exactly.
the differentiation between the two.
It's the checks and balances on the House, essentially, because the House is direct democracy, right? You have a certain amount of representatives in the House per state based on the population.
This amendment was passed in 1913, right? Right before World War One.
At the same time as the Federal Reserve as well.
It seems like there's a lot of shady stuff going on, a lot of globalism, and then going into a war to try to like take people's mind off of the fact that they were trying to consolidate power.
Well, yeah, I mean, you always want to pass a law when people aren't paying attention, and that's one of the most egregious things that is done over and over again by people in both parties. They're like, oh, all right, sneak that in right before. I mean, we know about what happened right before 9/11 with the missing money and the Pentagon and all this stuff, and even right before the war in Ukraine, some shady things happen. There's always seems to be something. Oh, and right before the Hawaii fires, or whatever it was. There was a lot of things that were sneakily passed, and yeah, it just seems to be a playbook that everyone follows, and it's very bad for the people.